Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? I am Star-Lord Nuthor 7, your planetary defense commander. And it seems like the more volcanoes that erupt, the more trouble I attract. So I'm going to try and stay in a chipper mood, even though I've had the shit beat out of me all year, and it continues to increase. As you can see here, for the first time ever, we have two of what I call a volcano signal. And so for a while I've been talking about, I think we're going to see volcanic activity happen in the Caribbean in the future. That could be tonight. That could be 3 years from now. But as the volcano activity seems to increase across the planet, we'll keep watching. Now we're over at crankywxguy. He has a blog here where it breaks down everything. I will leave a link for you in the information box. We got a giant swath of rain that is going to be coming all the way through Texas, up through the Tennessee Valley. If that's even a thing, I don't know. I've never been in Tennessee. First up is our northern onset ice, sleet, snow, and then heavy rains. Also covered in yesterday's entry to a degree. Maybe a new entry more highly focused on this Friday system if time presents. So yeah, here's our giant storm. It goes from Canada down into the Gulf of Mexico. We're worried about tornadoes possibly and squall lines and major heavy thunderstorms in Texas. But it looks like everybody pretty much, if you are in this area, this storm is going to be affecting you. And then the upper Pacific Northwest will continue to get hit with patterns, and then that moisture will continue to increase down. And then now, if you'll notice, when I was pointing out that Caribbean moisture situation, it seems like we're going to be getting more moisture in from the Caribbean. And I'll show you in a second. And so here's our bullet target for today. If you are in these areas, pay attention if you can. I think the worst of the weather is going to be from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. So have some type of radio on you if you can. The situation, this is from today. This is Italy with the volcano Etna that has been erupting and is in like a non-stop mass eruption. Same thing with Indonesia. They're shooting out like afterburners on a car. It's, as I said, 2018 ain't over, and since it's been filled with natural disasters and like nothing but dark witchcraft, expect more of the same. What do I want to show you real quick? This is, as we're looking at the storm today, as you can see, a lot of places are under the gun. What a storm. Advisories from Canada to Mexico. Blizzard warnings to the north with severe weather and tornado watches to the south. This is a look at the next 48 hours as the storm moves through. And as usually the case, they will put out more severe weather watches as the event gets closer. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some tornadoes or some heavy straight line wind activity from Texas all the way to the coast. So there is a tornado watch in place until 2 a.m. for Lee County. The watch area stretches back to the west through San Antonio and Del Rio. No other watches are currently in place to the Brazos River. Severe weather not expected locally until closer to midnight. And so here's our giant, and here's that massive jet, and then a secondary jet, which are going to be causing some major heavy problems for flooding, rain, wind. And so there's a signal there and a signal there, and then you have our volcano signal there and there. So I'm just wondering, and we were watching our predicted a 7.0 earthquake for yesterday or today. That has not happened, which is to me great news, because getting a 7.0 earthquake almost every 5 days was a pretty scary signal to me. So it looks like I was wrong. And that is fantastic news. I do not mind. There's our kernel hole. We'll be getting hit with fast wind stream in about a day. And so everything is just pretty much wild, wacky, and weird. And so let's take a look to run through of the FVGS. But as you can see, the storm will continue to move east, and then our next storm moves in. And so watch as I'm talking about. That notice how now, most of the time, the shit comes in from here and then goes out. And so we get our major problems when the two systems combined. So we're starting to get Caribbean moisture again. But watch see how this rain forms up out of the Caribbean, and it's going to be rotating over a lot of the same places that have had a lot of rain in the last week or two. And then, so you know, the pattern is changing. And then you get this crazy moisture shooting up straight from the Pacific, which is not necessarily normal. And then our patterns will continue into the new year. So we will keep watching out. Now let's watch the FB3GFS and take a look at the rain band situation. Wow. That's a heavy size rain band. Look at that. There's a lot of rain, and there's rain going into UK. Look at that. Just a square foot of that rain band is incredibly wild and wacky. And so, geez Louise. All right, let's do a California rundown. I mean, we'll take a look at the West Coast, what it has expected. You see, this is water vapor, and there's the jet. It has two jets, so it will be able to put out a whole lot of moisture overnight. I wouldn't be surprised if the rain factor of this storm overperforms. And so this is water vapor. Notice like it's really dark, like there's almost no water vapor whatsoever, and this is a volcano range. So we will continue to watch. Let us look at the new patterns. See, watch how the moisture is almost streaming up from nowhere. It's a bad sign. And then it's almost like it seems different. Yeah, that's not how it normally moves and goes. So prepare for more interesting times into the next year. And man, 2018 has kicked the crap out of me. I am now having major car trouble. So I now literally have had trouble in every area of my life this year. And the only way, as of now, I survive and depend is on y'all's contributions and donations, which are drying up after I've done amazing things all year. It's like life has become a prison. In a prison, you got to join a gang. So, I know, unless something major changes, I'm going to have to start a second channel and join a political party. And there's not really a choice to make there. So, I don't know, maybe I'll get a miracle in the next 5 days, but I've given it my all for peace. It doesn't look like that's going to work. Because we are in a spiritual warfare, and there are very bad people out there. All right. So, stay tuned and stay on it. It'll be cool.